Hey, so I want to make a video, should be short, about Iran and why we went in there. And I'm seeing posts and videos from people that I've respected for a long time. Dave Smith, Megan Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and some politicians who have kind of like flipped, I guess, like MTG. Um, and they're talking about why they're so opposed to it, and they're acting as if like this is just a completely unjustified kind of a war, as if it's just like it's Iraq and stuff like that. And to me, I look at this situation with Iran, and it's so much different than any of these other conflicts. To me, I think that there is a justification. I think that there is a good rationale, and there's a reason. And I think that there's a positive path that we are creating. And there's signs that I think that if things weren't good, then I would have a larger issue with it if things weren't going in certain ways. Um, and I feel like there's information that's just being omitted whenever any of these people are talking about this stuff. Now, maybe they are mentioning these things, and I'm just not hearing it from them. Um, but it's like, okay, look, when we have our negotiators going over there, and and the reports back, I mean, as it's they report back like, hey, we're very proud that we've secretly developed, or we're in the process of developing these 11 nukes, and we're going to be using them against Israel and America. And it's like, okay, that's a problem. They're like weeks away, and you've been developing them secretly. You've snuck them by our radars. And it's like, okay, I'm if that's true, right? And if there wants to be, you want to have some investigation, maybe there's some audio recordings of like this happening, and which I think there should be. I think that would be a good thing, so that we can kind of have some levels of verification for these kinds of things. But it's like, if that's true, I'm not in. I have no sympathy for bombing them when they all get together, because to me it almost seems like, hey, here's the military guys, here's the leadership, here's all of your key figures. They go down into a bunker and to have a meeting, and then boom, they all get bombed. It's like, okay, terrorists are gonna die. Oh, too bad. I'm not. You'll get no sympathy from me for their deaths. And if I had some concerns, they would come through like, okay, I would look at the people of Iran, and I would say, okay, how do the citizens of that country feel? Not the terrorist types, not the kinds that are like, hey, you know what? You're not wearing a hijab, I'm gonna come murder you or beat you or whatever. Like, I don't care about those people's opinions, but the normal types of people who are in Iran, who have been taken over and their freedoms have been squashed, and they're living under this theocracy, dictatorship. They appear to be rather thrilled that these actions are being taken. And what I appreciate is that what we're doing is we're doing more targeted strikes. We're not just like laying waste to all of the landscape. Now, I understand that there was an incident with a school of children who tragically, horribly, all died. I'm fine to say, hey, look, like, that's likely an American thing, but I really don't think that we intentionally bombed a school. It was right next to a some government leadership building where they are developing and working on this kind of stuff. There's a lot of bad people, and it can make sense that, like, hey, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take civilians and we're gonna set them up in locations that are near our bad guy bases, so that if they bomb us, they're gonna bomb the children, and we get to weaponize that as a narrative and then throw that out so that they can get sympathy. And I think that's a disgusting, horrible tactic, but it's not an unseen tactic. And so then I would also look at, okay, what are the neighbors thinking? What is Saudi Arabia? What are the neighboring countries? How do they feel about all of this? And when I look at it, it's like, I don't even know if my mic is in, but I'll finish this. So okay, because I just realized it's usually on a speaker, and here's my headphone. Let me just. That was a little silly. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm kind of sitting here, and I'm like, all right, these people, if these other countries are fine with everything, like they're in it too. Where's the problem? Where's the problem in this? As far as I can tell, all of this stuff that we're doing it in the best, honestly, the best possible ways that it could be done. I mean, who would have expected a war starts and within 24 hours, all of the top leadership are gone? We've already gone through at least 3 tiers of them. It's like this place is in collapse. Then you go and you can look at like Venezuela, and it's like, boom, we just swooped in, snatched up Maduro. Now we have control of the country, and now Venezuela is on the up. It's on the rise, and from that we just said, hey, you know what? We don't even have to do anything with Cuba. We just set up an embargo, and we're just gonna say, all right, we're just gonna let this work itself out for the most part, and we're gonna come in and say, all right, this is how it's gonna be now, right? And that's going to grant the freedoms back to the people. Because to me, I think that what we're doing is a good thing. Now, can it turn sour? Can we turn this around and make it into a bad thing? Can we abuse the power that we have and oppress and destroy and ruin these other countries? Yeah, we certainly can. And that would be horrible, and I would be absolutely opposed to that. But I don't think that that's what's happening. I don't see that happening. I'm not seeing the establishment Republican, establishment Democrat just running towards war and just creating these forever war scenarios. I'm seeing ends to these things. And so when I hear all of these people just complaining all the time, you guys aren't making any sense. You're not making any sense to me. Like I don't like conflict. I don't like wars, but I'm not opposed to unjustified conflicts, unjustified wars. There's a situation in Mexico with the cartels, and they went in with our intelligence and they took out a cartel leader, and then stuff was going crazy for a while. And I'm kind of sitting here like, hey man, I mean, I'm okay to because I'm all for, and I have always been, if we have an opportunity to go after these cartels, and I want to do it. And if the Mexican government, if they don't want to interact and they don't want to make this happen, I'm not opposed to saying, you know what, here's what's in effect a terrorist organization of the cartels sending drugs into our country, and they are killing our people. To me, that is like a silent war that we have just allowed to happen. And for us to just be like, hey, you know what, Mexico, like, you guys got these cartels, and they're killing all of our people like by the hundreds of thousands, and what we're just gonna let you continue doing this because we want you to take care of this problem. To me, I say no. I'm not interested in just allowing another country to just enter our country and just destroy our people, get them addicted, cause us problems. No, I'm not for that. It's like, and so if you're kind of sitting there like, I'm opposed to all conflict, like you're I don't know where you're too principled. You're so principled that I don't want war at all. I don't want, and you're going to get crushed. You're going to get destroyed by bad people. They will take advantage of you. And these are considerations that I think people need to have. So that's all that I really got to say. All right, you guys.